I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the agenda, I have nothing on the minutes. The only thing I would ask is that we put the trade-in value in the minutes.
I don't know if I had that amount, I didn't have it written down, did we have an actual amount for trade-in?
So like 25,000 you got for the old tractor, something like that.
Okay.
22 maybe, but
Okay,
I'd have to bring that.
if you don't mind, and then, okay,
So I think we should show the accurate amount of,
I think it,
yeah, I didn't have it written down.
we can have those numbers.
yeah,
We
you
had
had the
the
grant
final-
done in, and then you had the trade-in, and then you had total cost of 203,000, which was 17,000
Thank you,
less than
Patrick.
what you budgeted.
I just have it, so it was just.
I think it was, yeah. I think it was-
Liquor license.
If you would please.
I move to approve the agenda, the minutes to put in the trade-in value of the tractor and mower, and the accounts payable, and no liquor license.
Second that motion.
Been a motion made and seconded to accept the agenda as presented. Add some figures to the engineer's new tractor mower, and those to the minutes. Accounts payable are fine. Is there any other discussion or questions?
And I have the figures on my.
You have for the trade-in value? Okay, perfect, thank you.
See if there's, all those in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. I don't think I did anything last week. I can't remember. I was still in combine mode, so.
I had a juvenile detention meeting. I'm chairman of that board, and we have come in the year under budget, actually last year too. So Mills County will be getting a little over $38,000 in return for the money that we paid there. So we're gonna get a check on from Judy for a little over 38,000. I don't have that exact number, but it's good. So that's all I have.
so last week was a busy week for me. I went to Harlan for the West Central meeting. We're ready to do the strategic planning, revamping for the next 5 years. We've had some good reports from Mills County as the preschoolers have got room for 4 more. Then I had a Golden Hills, which we've got a new CEO, Lisa Fox, and she was wondering if the county could chip in 15,000. So I turned her down and I said, I think we need to refigure. So another meeting on that for this week. And then
15,000
for the year.
Oh.
Mhm. And I gotta look and see what our account that we usually give them, but it is not 15,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I had a map of board and finance meeting in Omaha and trying to get Pacific Junction settled. So Karina and Andy Young, as I understand, is coming in, so we'll have a nice conversation this morning. So otherwise, that was my week.
Hey, Mr. Jacob, you have general discussion.
Not a whole lot. Next week I would like to bring you guys a quote from Olding's Garage to redo and install weather seal from all of our entry doors and garage doors. It's something that when they came in and did the garage doors last year, we said, oh, our own guys will do the weather seal, and it's just something that we've never really got around to. And now it's like, we're getting ready for snow plow and this and that, let's just get it done. The quote would be for $4,062.50. We're removing, replacing all nails, side seal, the doors, missing leather seal. 330 feet for the bottom seal and 926 feet for the seals around the doors.
900 what?
926 feet. So we figured by the time we buy all the materials and get into it, we're not gonna be saving a whole lot of money, you know? And this will just get it done or something.
And they know how to do it.
Also, some of the stuff, it's nice to do ourselves, but when we do hire someone, we do have a little bit of, I guess you'd call it a warranty. You know, if something goes wrong, it's, hey, you install this, they come in and fix it for free. We don't have that to do ourselves. Other than that, got a safety workshop on Wednesday, taking a text with me and Mr. Red Oak.
And when is that?
That's on Wednesday.
We're not doing much rocking, are we? Putting down any new rock?
Not a whole lot right now, it's just so dusty and dry.
Yeah.
Trying to only blade the bad spots, and, when we had it, we warned the people, yeah, we cut out the washboards, but it's gonna be a dust storm. And we've had that where we bladed it, because people call in for that, we warn them, in the afternoon, we get someone else calling, why'd you get out there, it's a complete dust storm. So, we're trying, you know, and when it's this dry, you just kind of stuck between, you know.
I got 3 intersections south of me where 5 farmers are hauling grain. Just about, just powder. I mean, even the rain last night,
I don't know what they got last night, but
we only got about 2,000, maybe at the most, you know.
They're sticking at though.
No, it is just, people call and say, what do you want us to do? I said, if we grade it, it's gonna be a total dust storm. I said, there's no moisture to work with. What we, fill in holes and stuff with, it won't stay because there's nothing to stick it together.
Well, they said on the news this morning that our last truly rainfall was in August.
I had 3/4 of an inch the 8th of August.
So that's why we got a little dust problem.
yeah, there's not a good answer, because you try to cut out the washboard, but then you create that powder, which is, turns right back into.
You need me?
No, I just wondered if the whole group needed an aggravator, because I'm here for you.
Come on in.
On in. But no, it's just due to dry weather, period. I mean, and you can't do anything about washboards or anything else, and, so.
John and Chad, have any water problems at your place? Laverne and Diane Rober, they pretty well dry and they have no water for the cattle. They're pretty close.
Our well's 1,500 feet to the west down in a draw, so we've been fortunate so far, but I've heard more of that.
They're going dry.
We haven't had any problems with that.
Okay.
The Roebucks the other night.
Are they hauling?
What did they say they were doing? They bring
Or
it
did they
in
move
from
the
their
cow?
son's place maybe?
Oh, okay. Pretty serious.
Yeah.
That's about all I got, unless you guys got something.
So the new grader guy
Mhm.
did a wonderful job of getting up there and smoothing a little bit, so
Yeah.
that was wonderful.
I did get a call, Jacob, on Holly here, about Molly.
Hollywood?
Okay, lighten that up a little bit.
How much longer is our mower guy?
Our seasonal mower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was supposed to go to the 31st, but he took a job a week and a half ago, 2 weeks. We didn't get our 4 months.
Okay. Well, he did a great job.
Just be a good plug that, we would be interested in either hiring a tech.
Is the old bat wing still operable or not?
Yeah.
There's some intersections, the road guys should really take a look at it, because it's when you pull up and, we mowed along the edge, but there's tall weeds and brush, You can't see through until you get out in the
That's kind of the question.
intersection.
Light a little bit.
Yep.
Other than that, I have nothing else.
Okay, well, Jacob's still here. I know you gentlemen have conversed and stuff. Got any other questions for him as far as the discussion on the petition for a slowdown? Speed limit?
I would just say if there's other information or anything we can do to get you more hard data, I mean, we're willing to do whatever. Obviously, I think Carol said it best. The thing we don't want to do is wait till something happens. And obviously, when you got teenage drivers and kids and grandkids, it's something that obviously very passionate about. And, it appears there's been some precedent set, that indicate that it is an option. So that's probably where we would want to say, hey, let us do whatever we can to help you with the decision, but we obviously think the right ones to get it posted.
Within 2-3 miles of our towns do it, whether it's Glenwood, Malvern, Emerson, Hastings, I would entertain that.
And the only thing, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Chad.
The only thing I would add is that, everybody that signed, which again was everybody but one person that didn't sign. It wasn't just like, whatever, yeah, I'll sign it if you want me to sign it. Everybody they were like, thank you. They're like, thank you so much for actually coming around. People were enthusiastic or saying, oh my gosh, yes. And they all had stories to tell. So, I mean, they're passionately in favor of it, and it was all for safety.
Jacob, this is a question, I guess, basically for you. We put 45 on Ingram out here. I was out of town and stuff. I come by there on Tuesday morning. There's a childcare right south of where my son lives. There was 7 vehicles, and everybody was walking back to their vehicle at the same time. I've been there in the morning harvesting stuff, and it's like, if the leaving goes, they all go. Some go south, some go north, none of them stop. I mean, I've seen so close to having side collisions. Is there anything we need to put up or for safety purposes? I'm just
I don't know what else.
asking. I mean, them people,
Pulling out of the driveway?
oh yeah, they just pull out. They don't stop, they don't look, they just, some go south towards 34, and some come back towards Glenwood. If there's traffic coming, it means nothing to them. It's kind of
I
hilarious.
think it was a sign that says cross traffic does not stop, but that should be out.
Yeah, I mean,
Part of that's
Yeah.
your own responsibility.
I mean, we could put up any kind of sign, but people will not.
We know that from in here, that happened this side.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, if you run 45 coming into town, there's some people that really get friendly.
I've noticed people driving slower though.
Yeah, I have to.
They're working at least.
That's one of the lowering the speed limit is usually, if you're just doing like statistics, the risk isn't, like worst that's gonna happen, someone's getting mad that they're going slow, you know what I mean? So a lot of times I would favor towards that if you can prevent something through safety just by lowering it, So we'll say that. I'm gonna go drive it after this and kind of just see 45, 55, kind of. Cause I know most of the time people are gonna drive on the comfortability of the road, the configuration of the road or conditions. So somebody, if you have a straight, if you put 35, and people go 60 because that's what they're comfortable.
If you observe that, you can see people come around the curve and just hammered on the straightaway. It's like a racetrack.
It truly is.
But even if it's a road where people are just driving 70, to work with law enforcement, we can say we're doing our part, lowering the speed limit, so. Typically, I am in favor, and this, gives me a lot of information, probably gives you guys a lot of information, and everybody on the road is in favor of it, so.
Yeah, I really like this because it's not just you coming in and setting the board saying, we need a lower speed limit. You got a whole list of people that's agreed to it and want it, so we'll do our best I can, so.
Now, we're not complaining of the nice, wonderful road. It could have gone down to 250, but we've had that discussion before. So. But it is very nice, and that's what happens. They just fly, yeah.
Do you have a copy of this? Or will?
I do not.
Can you take a copy
If
of
we have to
that?
move
Yeah.
forward with the resolution, it'd be nice to
Jen.
include that.
I can make a copy of it.
Well, Carol, you got, about 65 days left to get that done.
Well, apparently, one of the opponents gonna have all the roads blacktopped,
Get
so
it paved.
we'll have a lot of
Well,
speed.
what are you worried about then?
We'll have a lot of speed drivers going around. 4 years, he's gonna get her done. Oh,
Well, you guys aren't gonna believe this. I gotta tell you this, this is a little time kill on prison. There's these two guys that's shelling corn in the field. One of them running a 6-row outfit, okay? And the other one's running an 8-row. And they,
Richard, I didn't even know there was corn shellers still to this day.
and anyway, the guy with the 6-row was coming at the 8-row, the 8-row was coming at the 6-row. And they always figure there's 2 rows between because the 8-row is not taking all of his spot. So there should be 5 feet between heads. You would understand this problem. Well, as it sits right now, the one combine, the corn head is total, the other combine has 4 out of the 8 rows that won't turn.
Ah,
They never come head to head.
did one wanna stop when it got close?
I wanna,
Oh,
Ron
No.
Meister called me yesterday morning, he says, hey, Richard, how do you get smoke smell out of your combine? I said, what happened? He said, my son was running Friday or Saturday night, I don't know which. And he says, skunk run right into the combine.
oh,
Wasn't running away from it, something, but anyway, it run in the combine. He said Saturday morning, I'm standing under a shade tree. And he says, my son and hired man were sitting on chairs watching me try to dig this thing out of there. I said,
Oh.
Impossible. Oh, he says, it's so nice to smell, so nice to run, you know, just, he says, it smells so great.
He was telling a joke.
what would you do?
I did, I was like, we're gonna hit him.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, there was a couple things that happened over the weekend, so I thought,
Laura, we just finished visiting about it. Is there anything you'd like to add quick?
Are you here for the road?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now.
Have you started? I'll wait until it's 9 o'clock.
We're just starting on it.
Oh, the meeting started at 8:15. So, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, it's, the speed that they come down the road now is, and all the houses that are built southwest, and they get on and off the gravel and they get on ours, it's like the interstate. And like he said, when they come around the curve, bam, they're right there. Well, I pulled out of my driveway several times. Now I pull out of my driveway and I go northbound in the southbound lane. Because there's a dead spot over by the winery when cars come down, they disappear. And you pull out, where'd that car come from? It's went from 45, 50 gravel road and make sure you're holding on to a 60, 65 foot speedway now.
And like I told Jake, I don't think the people in Omaha understand the speed limit on the country roads. Because there isn't anything.
No, it's not listed on there, so no, they're not.
So maybe even a couple signs will let them know
But
this
yeah,
is what.
it needs to be slowed down and checked.
Right.
Well, we have farmers that use the four-wheelers to go back and forth on part of the farm. And if somebody comes up, when they come up and it's over a hill or around a curve, they come up behind them, they have no chance.
I use my beater to go in to get the mail. And look, there's nothing coming in terms, where'd that car come from?
We copied the petition and everyone's signatures, and the engineer's gonna go drive the road and look at it. And we'll probably have something on the agenda next week.
I think some speed limit signs and get them to slow down. And once you get the speed limit sign, you can have somebody sit out there.
Yeah, that's what I told Jake. It'd only take a couple of times to see a cop sitting out there and then they'll realize we're pretty serious.
Yeah, it's,
No, it really hurts when they stop and give them a ticket. It doesn't take long for word of mouth to travel that, and that's what might have to take place, folks, So,
One point to the UTV thing, the state regulations, we can't go over 35 in UTV. They make a road at 55, they go on 60, 65.
That's right.
pretty neat when they pass cars.
Me and Lady was going 70, but they're supposed to limit it to 35. I don't understand that.
Well, you're supposed to put
They're
a,
allowed to drive on.
you put a dummy plug in your seatbelt. And that's supposed to automatically cut you back to 35 miles an hour.
Still figured that out. Side by
You
side.
just take it out.
I learned something today.
So see what you can learn at a supervisor meeting, John. You put a dummy plug in the seatbelt and
But it's not always a dummy. Sometimes it's a real person.
or who uses seatbelt.
Bug it behind you.
Depends if the cows are out.
That's right, yeah.
Thanks for coming. guys.
Okay, all right.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate everybody's help.
On a non-related to what we're here for, I did want to say is on behalf of AgriVision, thanks for the opportunity to work on the tractor.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
I've heard nothing but good reviews from everybody that was participated in it.
Yeah.
And I think the sheriff's department really stepped up this year and did some things that, to help us out. So,
Well, appreciate partnership for sure, and the opportunity to do business as well, so.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Well, you're pretty important to the county, so
So, we appreciate being here, for sure.
aggregation's happy, we're all happy.
For sure, thank you.
Don't forget your cups on.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
thanks, Jacob.
Thanks, Jake.
John, how you doing? Good.
Kitsy wanted to say hi to you.
Here, I'll scoot over
Have her come up and say hi. Kitsy, come up.
I'm just learning the lay of the land, so I'm attending this meeting just to kind of learn and figure out how it's run and meet everybody. So my name is Gypsy Loader. I'm the new executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. So just getting to know everybody.
Yeah.
And I think just absorbing some of this helps me understand how everybody's style is communicating and what's going on in the county and all that. So we're grateful to be here.
Good, thank you. And you're welcome to stay all morning.
I will stay for a little bit longer.
Okay,
Yes,
sounds good.
Thank you.
Mr. Bowden, you're up.
I am?
Yep. We appreciate you coming, but I'll make a comment or two here before you get started. We will listen. We will not make any comments because of litigations that are going on, so that's where we stand on it.
All right. Bring you up to date on my petition to the Board of Review, then ultimately appealed to the PAB. I won. Okay. Richard, I know you don't read my emails.
I read them, I just don't comment on hardly any of them.
Last time I was here, you hadn't seen any of the information I had provided, so that's a pretty good assumption on my part. I won. The attorney that is representing the Board of Review, I believe, has taken it upon himself to appeal that to a district court. The instrument, I guess, the legal instrument that is going to district court says the Board of Review is appealing this. Well, I'm on the board of review, and we never had a meeting to approve anything going to a district court. Okay? And to be honest, I don't know if that needs to happen, but if I'm part of a board that is moving something to district court, even though I would have to abstain, I would think there would have been a meeting to approve such. The other thing is the attorney that is doing this is supposedly doing this for free, meaning he has a bird under his saddle for losing at the path. Okay? Yes. He could have just left it alone, chalked it up as, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Here we go. And I've read a lot of there's actually not that many appeals to the Court of Appeals or District Court. But I haven't seen one where the tab did not. Okay, so we're wasting time, we're wasting the county's money. To date, Richard, do you remember what I said you spent so far? About $15,000 to initially save $600 a year if I was changed from residential to an ag classification. That don't make any sense. Now that there's been a reassessment, it's different now. Okay. All right. Conference board minutes. They're not on the website.
That's not our job. We have nothing to do with that.
You have to talk to the assessor about that. She handles the minutes.
Okay, my point is just that. Okay,
You're on that board, so that gets handled with that board. They don't have any control over it or the review.
the conference board has control over the assessor. 3 members of the conference board right here. I know there's more, but I don't know who they are. I know what they are. They're the school, someone from the schools, someone from the cities.
And the years.
And the mayors. Like I said, from the cities. Right. There are no minutes. Nobody knows who they are. Okay? The Board of Review agenda in minutes, the conference board has control over it. They're non-existent. Try to find them.
That is fixed.
Yeah. It does. And thank you, for that comment. I guess lastly, the assessor spent $750,000 doing a reassessment. I'm fairly well in tune with how that process works and what to expect and when to expect it. So I went and spent some money and got an appraisal of our house to compare it to the reassessment. It was way off. The market value that appraisal got, that I paid for and got, was $100,000 less than what the assessor's $750,000 reappraisal went for. And I believe that's going to be common across the county. And so the conference board meets twice a year to look at a budget, approve a budget. Look at a budget, approve a budget, and then totally hands off on the assessor downstairs. I think she's incompetent and out of control. And I get to sit in front of her now for 7 or 8 years and watch as people come in and say, why did you just out of the blue change my property from res to ag? And I pick that, ag and res, because it's very quantifiable. It's easy to look at a property and say, you know what, that in all likelihood should be ag or should be res. It's not a valuation thing. I don't have to look at an interior of a house. I don't have to be an appraiser or a realtor. I can just look and say, well, there's ag endeavor on this. And in all likelihood, it's pretty easy to figure out. And the deputy assessor comes in and just changes stuff. And then people are caught, usually they don't catch it the first year. It's the second year they come in and say, what's going on here? Last year, I think we saw 5 out of the, I don't know, 30 or 40 petitions, 5 that came in as ag. We changed all but one of them, mine and one other, we did not change. Okay, I assume they're gonna appeal to no win, and she'll spend a whole bunch more money, because her criteria for ag is not according to the law. Her criteria is, if you're a farmer and if you own other property, then where your home is can be ag. That's not the law. And she knows it. Somebody has to get her under control in this matter.
Okay.
You replied to an email, so it had to be 10 acres. I asked you for, you said, somebody who knew what was going on told you 10 acres.
Right.
I asked you who that was and what document they had. You never
Did you get
replied. You never replied to me.
Well, I sent it to you.
What was it?
Oh, gosh, that's been months ago now,
I'll
Mike.
check my emails.
Do, because I sent it when you said
Okay.
you hadn't gotten it.
Okay.
But I can resend it.
All right. It's not pertaining to classification, I can tell you that. It might apply to the farm credit.
There you won't find anybody to stand behind a 10-acre parcel as ag land. There is no, I fought this probably 10 years ago, trying to get something in the county regulations on size acres or something. I went as far as Farm Bureau, and Farm Bureau said you might as well forget it, we will not help it out, so stay away from it. So that's,
Well,
that much I can.
I'm staying away from it. It's you that said 10 acres. You know, I know that, Richard. In fact, just last year, we changed from residential to ag, a 0.9 acre parcel with no home. From residential, which she all of a sudden went up and changed a vacant lot from ag to residential. And there was ag activity on this parcel. Doesn't look at anything, just said, oh, I'm gonna change this. Any more questions?
I have none.
All right.
Yes.
It'll be fine.
So I'm quite certain there's minutes downstairs if you want to go look.
Nope, but I'm sure there are, but there's minutes for every other, board on your agenda center,
And I have no idea why they aren't on there.
because she's incompetent.
That's why.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Nothing else, right?
You need new batteries again?
No, it's in the computer.
Well,
Katie?
wanna do that one or?
We need to go back in order, so you guys, at 8:45 is supposed to be Andy and Karina.
Okay.
Mr. Young? Right, come on up to the table, please.
Well, I guess we're here because Supervisor Benton seems to want to air map business at the county board, which there's no place for it there. If they have a problem with us, you should be coming and having a meeting at our city council, so that everybody will know. And to answer your question, we have not given, but the state of Iowa and FEMA have given MAPA $316,000 so far. And the reason that they haven't been paid is because they haven't turned in the paperwork that is needed to be.
Okay? So, as I said on the MAPA Finance Board, Debbie, I'm trying to protect Pacific Junction because you are part of our county, and I'm very concerned because I did not know. Dawn, do you want to take a sheet of that? So, MAPA has been waiting 5 years to be paid.
No, they haven't. But they've received $316,000. They have a balance of, I think, around 100 and something, which is coming from 3 different entities. And they know this.
And they know that.
Otherwise, they would have been coming down to the meeting and asking for a meeting. They know we have no control over it.
Okay?
You seem to think that with bringing this out and trying to talk about it, which you've got to separate your hats. You're a supervisor for the county.
Right.
And you're MAPA.
Right,
The two
representing the county.
The two don't come together.
But if you guys can't pay your debt,
We're not,
a city within your county that you should be showing a little more respect for than this.
I understand that, Karina, but if you guys are not a city, it will be the county's problem.
We are a city.
we are a city.
And we can't pay our bills.
And it's
Okay.
not our
We've
bill
been
to
paying our
pay.
bills.
So when we have our finance meeting next week, I can tell them, because the state auditor is now on their back. So that's why they're putting the pressure on you
So how
guys.
come NAPA has not been on my agenda to come to my board?
Don't know, Michael said that he's called you and you don't return the
Michael,
call.
that is not accurate. I speak only to Grant Anderson.
Well, Michael's the CEO, so
And
you would
Mike,
probably
if he
want to
would
talk
call,
to him.
if he would call, I would talk to him.
Well, I don't know why you don't return his calls. He
I
just
do
says.
return his
Oh,
calls.
okay. So here we have from the status of what NAPA has given to the board. On August 29th, City Clerk Karina Nempel became aware that hazard mitigation grant program and other Iowa Homeland Security Emergency Division funds were not being forwarded to be processed for payment. She received a copy of a 9-page document of various deficiencies in supporting documentation. Number one, this document was internal to the Homeland Security Emergency Management and shared among the HSEMD staff in June 24. These deficiencies were not shared with the city or MAPA until Karina came into possession of the document at the end of August. MAPA spoke to Karina about this on August 29th. Number two, on August 30th, Karina sent an email to MAPA and the Iowa Economic Development Authority, the IEDA, that addressed the internal document and other concerns. Number three, MAPA reviewed the HSEMD internal document and confirmed what we could produce on the city's behalf. Remaining documentation, such as the payment of vendors, would need to be produced by the city. Number four, on September 4th, the HSEMD's project officer responded to Karina's email and stated that the majority of documentation deficiency has been resolved. Previously submitted, the HMGP draw request would be advanced for disbursement upon the submission of some final items by the city. Included in these draw requests are approximately $90,000 of administrative funds due to MAPA. Number five, on September 10th, the project officer of IEDA emailed MAPA asking about payments for administrative services owed to MAPA. MAPA confirmed that the city has unpaid invoices of over $200,000, which has been outstanding for more than 2 years. In a follow-up conversation, MAPA staff explained MAPA's discovery that $53,250 in CDBG funds for administrative costs has been drawn. but not directed to MAPPA as payment. So that's their concern. You had a check. Where did that money go?
That check that they're talking about here yet. Just like I put in March of 2021 is when I put in for an $80,000 draw for administrative services. Is it my fault that they have not paid me? No, I can prove that I put that draw in for their final for HMGP or their FRF funds. HMGP funds I put in August, or let me put that back. March of this year is when I put in the final draw for HMGP. And in 2021, I put in a final draw for FRF funds, and CDBG funds will be paid out of this last draw that NAPA's waiting on, that they just got finalized in, which their 53,000 will be coming out. But my concern is that when I listen to the minutes here and stuff, it says that you guys have not been paid at all. You've been paid over $316,000. That 9-page document with missing documents that's between MAPPA and the state. We hired MAPPA for $4,000 a house to do this job, and I'm sitting here, in fact, I have a meeting this afternoon with the state of Iowa trying to dismantle the mess.
But they have
The mess.
offered to help you, Karina, but you don't.
And I
I'm
don't
gonna-
think that I
I'm
should be
Wait a minute.
airing this in front of all these people,
Karina,
because we don't owe the supervisors any money.
Karina,
This is
Karina, let's
between
just
the
stop
state.
here. Let's just stop here, Karina.
Because
Sorry, but.
I'm sorry, Lonnie, but
No,
I'm gonna stop this now because this is not between the county supervisors and the city of Pacific
Exactly.
Junction.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Carol, this
It's not
should
a
have been
county
brought,
issue.
you should have brought MAPPA down to their city council meeting and aired this down there. I don't feel, and I really apologize for what's taken place here. I don't want any ill feelings about it.
No, we
I
don't.
want to cancel what's going on. If you have any more questions, Carol,
So when's your
You-
city
Conflict of
council?
interest.
they
First
they
and
should
third
come and
Mondays
see you guys. I'm sorry, Eddie.
Well, we've said that all along, that we're surprised that you let it go this far.
Well, they just put pressure on me, so I just thought maybe we should all know what's all happening and going
Oh,
on.
no,
I didn't know anything about this.
You're at your meetings without us talking about us.
But we meet once a month at MAPPA, so come to it and then you can face
We
the.
should not have to. If you want, they need to come to the Pacific Junction, sit around our table and hear what their concerns are. But I'm telling you right now, they won't do it because they know what the concerns are. And they know that it's out of our hands.
Okay,
And you
I'll let
take
them
the
know.
time to embarrass everybody over it.
We will get this taken care of.
Thanks,
Thanks for
guys.
coming in.
See ya. Okay. We're up to Katie Lewis now. Katie Lewis.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Katie. Good. I have Tim Hood with me also.
How are you folks?
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Carol Getty.
Carol, nice to meet you.
Lonnie, sir? Yep, to you.
Thanks, Kim. Yes.
I'll have a copy for you, just, you're perfect, okay.
You got mine if you need.
Oh, thanks. Well, thanks for meeting with us today. Um, As I said last time I was here, I wanted to make sure we had a project or so in front of you before I asked for some funding for Switch. The trucking shortage is real and it's high.
I like your little correction here.
Thank you, yes. I was like, how did I do that?
Right.
At least I'm human, right? Lonnie?
Right.
But 78,000 people right now, trucking industry is looking for to fill those positions. It's projected to double by 2030. And this morning I looked on Indeed and there's 265 jobs for truckers in the Mills County area. So that's like 50 miles. It's remarkable. So of course,
Our little circle too.
yes, and we visited with an architect that Tim's working with. He stayed on with East Mills, he retired from superintendent, and he stayed on as project manager to finish some construction projects. And so he's been from the conception of Switch, had the conversations with Dr. Embray to get Switch and Innovation Center to work together, and then I continued that possibility. And so it's good collaboration, I guess is my point. So through that, we got a number for project number 2,
which is the DOT certified range, and I brought some pictures for you as well, and if you want to bring it up on Beacon, you can too. There's 2 proposed sites. Oh, it's not working, okay. Well, you have the images there. Their favorite range as an Iowa Western is, and they've talked to the DOT as well. We are doing the training here starting next month with Iowa Western. We're working on getting the range certified with the Iowa DOT. And once that's certified and also the route is certified, then it will become a certified testing site. So that's exciting for Mills County. This will be west of the building as it sits. And it'll be on the old practice football field. And eventually they want to encompass the baseball field there. Because it's all pretty much
So you're
flat.
driving around the,
Not the
Track.
track, we're to the east of that.
you're right on
So
there.
that, yes.
Okay,
So on the other pages, the other proposed spot is where the buses sit currently. And the second page you have there, that actually shows what they need and why they need it. And I think I sent that early on, so you guys can take a look at that. And then the third page shows where the buses sit currently. And that's an old Google image, so the buses are actually pushed down to the west there, and they are currently using that space. So last time we talked about in-kind money and moving dirt, things like that. We certainly think that's a conversation to have. We don't want to burden the Board of Supervisors in Mills County with a lot of funding. So that cost that I projected there is in-kind and also funding. So I put 3 projects on there. One is, the last time I was here, you guys signed a letter of support for the EDA grant. We need a 20% match to purchase those CDL simulators. There'd be 2 of them. And that match cost would be $46,000. So then project 2 is this CDL DOT certified range. Obviously you wouldn't do the route because that's public. And then the third project would just be unrestricted funds for Switch to do building upgrades. So the request, I thought it might be easier to budget, so that's why I put it in over time. Because we have projected that Switch will become a $10.1 million project when it's all said and done. We're doing it in 4 phases. Okay. And this would be phase 2 of that process. Phase 1 was the $1 million we got with Iowa Western renovation to get those classes going. We have 1 class now, we need 1 more instructor, so we'll do 3 next fall instead of just 2. So we'll have all 4 going next fall with the instructors. So that's the goal here. That phase 1 will be complete. Phase 2 is the CDL piece of it. And then also, I think I talked last time about us bringing educational partners who are the experts into Switch, and it becomes a hub versus us trying to do it ourselves. So there are some things that need to be done to the building, the roof, update the restrooms, the ADA. We're doing lighting currently. The truck is supposed to come now. But those are all things that need to be done so that partners who come into that space and pay us rent, which will pay our operational costs, can actually come into a building that's nice. We're hoping to, with the cost over time, obviously the trucks are gonna come in and out of that driveway. So we're gonna have to do something with that asphalt or the driveway itself. And so that's what these projected costs are, a go-to portion of that. We are gonna start a capital campaign next month, and so then we're hoping to get money from that that'll supplement these other costs. So you're not paying the total cost of everything, we're just asking for a
But if you'd
portion.
like to.
Yes, we would like
I'm sure, I am sure of that.
So I try to be really thoughtful about what to ask and not to burden Mills County, but also tell you what the return on investment is.
because we just daycares, we made promises too,
I know
so.
you did, yes. But the great story we have to tell is we have Mills County Head Start there. You can drop your kid off, you can go take a CDL class, and you change the lives of people. You really have. And so
Right.
that's a story that can be told too. So that daycare, yes, is important, but also the training is important just as equally to change the lives of
I've
people.
had 2 drivers that have had trouble in other states. You know, one of them was, he says, I'm traveling down the interstate, here's this tire pops off this truck, lays out in front of me, I had to change lanes. They caught him on camera. So they pulled his license for changing lane because no semis in this lane.
Wow.
And I mean, it shows the tire and everything, the judge said, well, you're still gonna have to take the class. Well, he had to drive to Des Moines Saturday to take the class.
There's nothing
He
around.
says, would that be available there? I says, I don't know, but I'll ask.
That's certainly a conversation we need to have because
You know, I mean, Well, he said you'd be surprised at people from Southwest Iowa that were sitting in that class, and it's the only day you can take it for a year.
And where do they have to go?
Des Moines
I mean, is
DOT.
it a DOT? No.
So there's some things that this, I think this could just generate and build bigger and bigger.
I think 10.1 is small. I think it really could grow into something bigger. We have another partner that's coming. They're gonna have an open house next month. We're allowing partners to make those choices, but it's a four-year university that won't compete with Iowa Western, because anytime, as long as I'm in that building, no one will compete. Everybody will collaborate. So
And
Can
can I
I
ask a
Charles
question? Is this like a nonprofit or a for-profit?
we are a
Is this-
nonprofit.
So it's a 501c3?
Yes.
So the county doesn't have the ability to give money to nonprofits unless it's a historical society. So I guess I'm just asking,
Through tax dollars or through, can we do it through local option?
right, so tax dollars, no,
Right, I think
right, no, I mean, because otherwise,
absolutely no, yes.
every nonprofit would be here, so,
Sure.
you know, give me money, give me money, give me money, yeah, so, I mean, whatever you guys, however you guys write up your money distribution stuff, you gotta just be really careful on how you're giving money, so,
But we can do it through local option,
sure,
community betterment or.
right,
Yes.
right. Yeah,
But
just
no
wanna make
tax
sure, yeah, that everybody's on the same page about that, yeah,
You wanna do it right.
right, yeah, because.
dollars.
Right,
I agree.
everybody wants money, it's just a matter of tax dollars, because everybody here has to be okay with using.
Right, and that's why I was very thoughtful about what we did and what
Yeah.
project we had. I didn't want to just come and ask for money, so.
That's what we're trying to get as much in kind as we can.
Yes.
Secondary roads, we can use, we have the equipment and they're moving equipment, we could help there.
Do you guys have like grants and fundraising and
Oh,
all that
yes.
kind of good stuff? Yep. Yeah.
Are you asking?
We've raised over $1 million already.
Our Western's involved too.
Yes.
So that new program, Larry, that you and I went to, the Charles Lake, is that, you looked into that?
Yes, and
Okay.
actually, we visited with them, we went through a due
Good.
diligence meeting with them as well.
Good.
We've asked them for a different project, there's a lot of projects in phases, and they'll be phase 3, and so that's why it's all these different phases.
Okay,
Exactly,
because that's a great program.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's gonna take a lot of people in a lot of communities, like, for instance, Hastings is part of Malvern, because Malvern is the anchor city for that. And so they need to come to Malvern and make those collaboration pieces, and the construction trades program that we have with our Western coming next fall will lend itself to that, and then also, Soulful Synergy, where the handy person, for rural handy person will actually teach people how to read the tape measures and get them ready for those things, so that they can be employable. So we're trying to get people scaled up to where they need to be.
Fantastic.
So, thank you for asking about that too.
So, back to the funding, you have project $46,000, match EDA grant. Is anyone else contributing to this $46,000, or are you asking the county for the full 46?
I was asking. about that.
Okay. And then the $300,000 cost,
That's for the range itself, and that's
Yes.
everything that's in that. So
Yeah.
it's the heavy duty concrete, it's,
Yeah.
and those could be in-kind funds, Lonnie. Also, it's not just the total, but that's what the architect figured, square footage, and that's based on,
that's creating
The math that's here.
all of that
Yeah.
and concrete, correct? Not just
Correct.
concrete. Okay,
right, everything.
okay. So a portion of that would be in kind, because we don't.
Correct.
pour concrete.
Yeah, we don't know what that would be,
Right.
and yes. And my hope is that whatever you're able to fund, then we can go out to the sponsors and say, here, we have their support, can you help us finish this project, and this is what we need. Because I don't
Sure.
expect you guys to fund everything.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Katie.
Bless you.
But just having your support is huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is 110.
And the return on investment, I started to speak to that earlier. Since we brought educational partners in, Iowa Western, Soulful Synergy, Mills County Head Start, now IJ, we've hired 7 local people who work at Switch. So we're already changing lives. So it's pretty great.
Fantastic.
So we'll become an employer and a place where you can learn.
Exactly.
So
It'll snowball.
It will.
It's not gonna go away.
so it's gonna benefit Mills County in
Yes.
every way.
So true.
We're also in some conversations for some things that'll be truly cutting edge.
Yes.
My implement dealer in Shenandoah, Iowa, veteran,
Mhm.
he even mentioned this, he said, we've got people that need to be trained and we don't want to send them. Until he says, yeah, we can send them a council bus, but he says, that's an extra 30 miles, you know, and if you can do it here on afternoons or something, he says, or get it done in the fall of the year after the major work wise. No, he's really enthused about this. He thinks it's great. So.
Well, Iowa Western is actually adapting their training program because they realize that there's farmers in the area that have their Class B, but they don't have their Class A. So they're gonna run a hybrid class, and that's what's starting next month. So that class will be done in just a matter of just weeks, instead of about 4 to 6 weeks it takes to get the other one done, because they already know how to drive. They're not gonna spend a lot of time in that truck.
Right.
The other good thing is with the simulators, we can get 17-year-olds in that and get them ready, so when they turn 18, they're ready to take that driver's test and they can be employed.
Did you know what, Katie? I've been hit with at least probably 6 kids that wanted to come and help farm. Well, you don't want to put them in a $80,000, $90,000 tractor and they have no clue.
Right.
And you just, but if they have some kind of a training, you know, maybe they can relate to agriculture of some sort.
I think the only thing around is like Fort Dodge, like the community college in Fort Dodge.
Exactly right.
It's a lot of travel and overnights,
Yeah.
basically, which.
And the
costs
closest
some time.
DOT certified sites are Council Bluffs and up and around the morning.
Yeah.
That's it.
The other thing too, that school phase wise
Yes.
is that, this would be a great thing. We can't find bus drivers.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, right.
So this is something that
You're talking about having a bus rodeo,
this.
get Swinna down there too, and help them out.
And,
They're all crying for
You
drivers.
guys gonna get up and running, we've got to get our people, you know, I mean, got no other place to train, but you go out of here, I mean, you go around the area, you know, so.
So Iowa Western's been down there already with their truck driving classes, just to figure out which place is the best spot, and this is their ideal location versus out there on where the buses are.
Have you guys visited, I'm just throwing this out there, have you visited with Lyman Ritchie yet about the concrete?
No.
I would see if they would donate something or some kind that would help the cost. I mean, if you could get some grading done for next to nothing by the county and the concrete done for next to nothing, that's a lot of cost. Lyman, Lyman. I think it's listed as Coron down here still, but it's all owned by Lyman Ritchie. So if you call Coron here in Glenwood, they'll probably hook you up with the Omaha offices.
Yeah, I appreciate that, thank you. And I did reach out to JTT and let them know what we were doing.
And let them know what they're doing, because it would
Yeah.
benefit them too, because they need
Exactly.
drivers, so.
Yes.
it-
So we've got
It would be an
2
easy sale.
trucking industries that wrote letters of support for us. They're all on board with what we're doing, and then we've reached out to 3 other ones to tell them what we're doing, just keep them apprised of what's going on. I feel like it's better to bring them in and have that conversation versus saying, hey, we need money right now.
Let them, you know, if they give you the concrete, put a sign up.
Absolutely. Well, and that's where that project number 3 comes
Exactly.
from, the digital sign
We'll
that I
line it
asked
up.
about, is that any partner that we partner with will have their logo and whatever's going on
Yes.
rolling on that screen, and you'll see it by the road. And
Sure.
So to me, it's a big project that needs to be done as soon as possible, because we get those partners out there and we're
You can
showcasing
Get your
that.
$300,000 cost down to less than half.
I know, that's what I was thinking too, that's my hope. So, I know you can't make that decision today, but,
No, you can't.
let me know when I can come back and you can, and
We need to have a work session on our.
Well, we got,
Just to figure
we got
out
your
what's
back.
coming in,
This
what's
is
coming in,
fabulous.
what's going out.
if you have more questions or need me to offer more information, please let me know.
That we all know we're all.
we'll do, that'd be great.
So, yeah, I'm here if you need something, and reach
Thank you.
out.
Super. Nice meeting you.
Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you, folks.
It's nice to hear from other people around the community, I mean, you know, Shenandoah's 30 miles away, but they know about this, and they want it to happen, you know, and it's gonna benefit everybody, not
Katie,
just,
just an idea, maybe later on when you really get going, have an open house. I know you, but people are saying, I would love to see what it looks like inside. And I said, it's a beautiful school, but, so they're
When Iowa Western
interested.
gets done, we'll have an open house for Iowa Western. The new partner that's coming in, we're
perfect.
having an open house next month for them.
Okay,
And then when the CDL's up and going, I think we need to have a ribbon cutting of some kind. and say, here we
Absolutely.
go, you know,
to
yes.
hear that Chamber of Commerce gal.
So yes, we're gonna work close with
Okay, your
them
mind
too.
is rolling.
Yes. But yes, I mean, Richard was at the open house that we had, the first one, and it was well attended. They said it was probably the biggest one they had
yeah,
so far.
really
Definitely.
huge.
So people are excited.
Absolutely.
We're happy to, our hope is that we can share this with other people and they can build it somewhere else too.
It's a good thing.
And these companies are wanting these
Yeah, those statistics are
high school
remarkable.
kids to learn and get them going, so I think it's a
Well, adults too.
win-win.
Yes. All right,
Super deal. Katie, thank you.
Thank you, folks.
I
Thank you
guess,
so much.
when can I expect an answer, do you think?
Where do you need it?
Well, November 1st is when I need to submit the EDA grant. Which is a tight timeline, but, because we're resubmitting it basically is what we're doing. We've cut the cost down, we've cut with the choice of what we're doing. And just sticking with the CDL portion of it.
We do a work session this week after the meeting, or we do what you
You
do.
got it, yeah. I mean, we'll just get it. I'm trying to, not sure on the date. Yeah, 29th.
29th would work. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not even open yet.
Okay. So all we're gonna
That'd
have
give
to
us
do
a
is the
chance to,
piece of it,
Yeah.
we're gonna go either to pay call or
Yeah.
whatever,
Okay.
bounce it around.
Well, no. There's only one account you guys can really touch.
Yes. All right, well, and then also just to throw a monkey wrench in your thoughts, East Mills is still an owner and proprietor of that space, so we leased from them, so that helps.
Which they keep most people.
They're paying for a lot already.
There's a lot of stuff already.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Well, should we take care of Mr. Williams so he can get back to
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Come on up.
He's got loans yet.
I want you guys to meet this wonderful
Yeah, let
guy.
me, thanks for taking a second. I wanted to introduce you to our new economic development director, Mark Norman. I don't know if you guys have met him before.
It's been a while, but yeah.
It's been a while.
I think I met Mark,
I've worked with him several years ago, so. Yeah.
I think I met Mark, which before the Sire days.
Plus years, yeah.
But, Mark won't talk about it, but I will. He's, to me, he was the side Sire. He was very active on the Sire project, but the Google thing is kind of his claim to fame, and that's probably what ultimately got him over to Omaha, because they snatched him up. So, just so you guys are aware, I think you've been on some of those emails, but
Right.
it has been disappointing. I'll be the first to admit that the folks we've had prior to this, I mean, we've, since Linda, she was here 19 years, and then all of a sudden we get these other guys, and it just hasn't worked out. So we've gone through 3 other ones in about a 6-year period. And
Yeah.
I think they were all good people. They did positive things, but we kind of revisited it as the executive committee of the Economic Development Foundation and said, you know what, we really need to get somebody that's going to be a little bit more committed to
Right.
Mills County, and maybe not so much about dollars as much as they just want to be part of Mills County. So because we're part of the Omaha partnership, they reached out though when they heard Andrew was moving on and said, hey, we might have something to help you in the interim, while you're looking at maybe something that's a little bit longer term. And so when they threw Mark's name on, I mean, based on his history and what he's been able to accomplish, and based on what we have available to us today in Mills County with the mega site, the redevelopment, the GRC stuff, and the transport thing down south of Pacific Junction, what's going on up north with Council Bluffs, that you guys are probably aware of.
I hate it.
Yeah, I think, we just thought it was hard to pass up. So, but we do want you to be aware that the other idea is for Mark to be involved in it, and he can tell you more about what his long-term plans are. He's old like me, so. But,
And what I like is Mark lives in Council Bluffs.
Yeah, he lives in Council
He's on the Iowa side, so we're not gonna lose him over the river. So I love it.
so anyway, just so you know, eventually we're gonna work for someone that kind of maybe would be tutored by him underneath him, but probably not in the future yet until Mark gets his feet wet. Mark, you might want to say a few things.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to be here to reappoint myself with all of you. I'm looking forward to working with you. As Larry said, I'm excited because of all the great work that's previously been done here and laid the groundwork. And, hopefully I can come in and add some value and bring things to, some conclusions in some of these projects that are out there. What I enjoy doing, what my passion is working projects and, landing projects and doing site development. That's
kind of where, my skills lie and what I enjoy doing. And so, having the opportunity to come in and do that, was very exciting to me. And again, I've been in Iowa for over 30 years and I love Iowa, I love Southwest Iowa, and I've worked with Linda, many years. So I thought it was a great opportunity to kind of give back, to my area. As Larry said, the other thing I really like to do is mentor and, bring people into the profession and help them learn it and to grow. I've done that several times with a lot of the folks that, Marco was on my team, Andrew was on my team, a couple of the other folks that are part of the partnership have been on my team. And so being able to kind of help them, learn the craft and grow and hopefully be a long-term, presence here, would be great. So being able to train that person is another exciting part because, I am.
Do you still run into Marco?
Yeah. And I mean, he's, with the mayor's office over there. So
Good for him. Good.
Gave Mark a hard time. I said, you did a pretty good job training those two guys. You didn't train them very well on cleaning the office.
Yeah.
Had to go down there and.
Was the file cabinets a little full?
We got Andrew to come back and said, you gotta see the file.
Yeah, I tend to be a stacker myself, so that's probably the bad habits that people learn, but I always say that's a sign of being busy, so.
That's right. That's true.
So, I mean, again, I'll try to be here as often as you want. I don't want to come and be a pain, but,
Sure.
And certainly whenever there's, projects, whatever
Right.
you talk to, I'll
Landing
reach out.
projects.
Landing projects. It's a long process.
In
It's a
those
long
counties.
process, right, in those counties. But I mean, the projects that I've worked, the big projects, the successful projects, have had 70, 80, 100 people touching those over time, right? And so it does take a village to make a project.
Absolutely.
And so, there's one person or two people or whatever they're doing, kind of the groundwork, that if the other folks aren't there, supporting and doing what they need to do, it's not gonna happen. And so that's something that, again, I'm excited to be a part of, so. Yeah, and reach out to me also whenever you have questions or whatever, I'm always gonna be available to answer.
So Rusty Hike, Mayor of Bellevue, he sits on the mount board. He's
Mhm.
bragging about the amusement water park coming in.
Oh, yeah.
He says, yeah, Mills County, I'd be putting a motel up.
Yeah.
Oh,
That might be what gets us over the top.
it may be happening really soon, so. And I told him about how you're on board now, so
Yeah.
he was very pleased.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. Rusty's a good guy.
And he's a good guy.
They'll
Pretty
be-
excited, absolutely.
They're being
This
aggressive.
is gonna help
right?
Bellevue tremendously,
The Port Authority from the area.
absolutely. Good enough.
Nice to meet you again.
Thanks for coming in. Good to see you again. See you next week.
So do you have set days, time, Mark, that you are willing to come in, or are you,
I'm gonna try to have some set days. I'm looking probably a lot of Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays,
okay,
but it may be flexible. Because again, yes, I'll be 60% of the time doing the Mills County work, and then 40% I'm doing site development throughout the 8 county partnerships.
okay,
So it's a hybrid position, but make sure I'm getting caught up and up to speed on all the projects that are here now, so trying to, so most of the rest of this week, I'll be working Mills County stuff. I'll be down here probably for 2.5, 3 days, but I'll also be working, doing Mills County remotely as well.
good, okay. Super deal. Righty. Well, welcome aboard. This is gonna be exciting,
Glad to be here.
super deal.
One quick follow-up on your deal with, Angie and I met with, Steve Wild with the Reagan Foundation. And that's a heck of a deal. I mean, Lennox gonna get 18.
Wouldn't that work for
You're not gonna
the,
get 18 million, you're gonna get an endowment of 18 million. People don't
Right.
understand that endowment needs to grow. There's really two programs, there's a grant program and then there's a lending program.
and wouldn't that work for the switch program, Larry?
Good, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, their goal is daycare, education, housing is big.
And,
Right.
economic enhancement, whatever that is.
That may have to be one of our avenues, because I know our local option money is tight. So
Yeah,
if we
I
can
mean,
And it's gonna get
now,
tighter
the
again.
problem is,
It'll
we have
go
to,
through them for us to
Yeah.
get back through local option.
And we've already
Over the
committed
years.
for a couple of the daycares,
we
so
gotta,
that's fine.
we gotta create a 501c3, which is what we're working on, because, and you probably saw Atlantic and Melbourne and, remember, maybe Red Oak or somebody.
Red Oak.
They kind of got into the program, it kind of started with them. So we won't really be eligible for any funds until probably the end of 2025.
Oh,
So
okay,
that nine, if you, and the other thing you need to understand is that they put this money in the endowment fund, and just invested it in with the brokerage firm, basically. And generally, it's over the last few years, and that's done pretty well, it might earn 10-12%. But you have to earn at least 5%, or they won't give you any of the grant dollars. When they say we're gonna give you 5% of the money that's sitting there, which on 18 million would be $900,000, and they don't give it to you, you have to apply through them to say, we wanna do something with the switch program. And they'll say, okay, maybe we'll do that, but maybe have a portion of this
Sure.
900,000. But if you don't earn that money, then you don't have access to any of it.
got it.
Now, the 18, the
That's how it
principle, because they're trying to grow it, what they want to do, and then they use those dollars, let's just use the Glenwood Redevelopment Corporation for the thing up on the campus. If you were gonna build a bunch of houses, they may allow you to use that money to a developer for infrastructure, put in water, streets, all that kind of stuff. But it'll be at an 8% interest rate.
Sure.
Maybe 100% financing, and then they gotta pay it back as the houses sell. But what the goal is to take that 18 million and grow it at 8%. So that the next year, if you're sitting in Glenwood, your endowment fund is worth 20 million, 5% of that's $1 million. So now you have $1 million you can apply for different programs. So it always has to run through a 501c3.
Got it. That's how.
And then I'm sure it's more detailed than that, but that's kind of exciting.
So for Atlantic and Malvern and Red Oak to have already established that, how did they get into the program?
I don't know the specifics. I think they were talking to them ahead of time, and they had specific projects that they liked, and so this is a great example of what I do. I think in Atlantic, they're building
Oh my gosh,
144 unit
they have,
housing project.
yeah, big ton,
So
ton of,
they're gonna use those endowment funds, I assume, and leverage those funds, and then get somebody to come in and build those houses.
Anybody moving to Atlantic these days?
I don't know. But here's the theory.
subdivision, childcare, and what was it?
Yeah,
There was 3 huge projects that happened.
right, yeah, daycare, residential, any kind of educational thing that get economic enhancement, which I think that would be like infrastructure, things like that, it would be part of residential.
Sure.
I think their belief is that they think that a little bit of this is you build it and they will come. You build houses and they will come. But Glenwood's, we've talked about this, Glenwood's a little bit different because we've got developers that are pretty good at what they do. So we're a little different animal, but, because we've got folks that can build houses, and do build houses, and it seems to work, but you take on a project like the Glenwood redevelopment, the campus up there, and you start building 900 units, which that's not gonna happen overnight, but this might help that, build more. We work with our local developers then too, but you might be talking about a little bit more risk, that's why they're willing to do it.
Sure.
So,
Have
it'll be
they
interesting.
established at the GRC, the historical buildings, have they?
Yeah, that SHPO report is supposed to be done at the end of the month.
Oh, okay.
I think, HDR's been hired by the state to overview that report. And to the best of my knowledge, the archaeological portion of that footprint has been completed, and they got a rough idea what those challenges might be. What we're waiting for is what's the ruling on all the buildings? They're all historical, some historical, that's really what we're waiting for. Because we have to know all that before you go out and start making a real plan. I know people get frustrated that things aren't happening fast enough, but quite honestly, there's a lot happening, it's just, you gotta wait. You can't make decisions till you get answers to certain things. That's kind of the big issue we're waiting on right now.
Good. Okay.
Hey, thanks for taking, I know we weren't on the agenda, but I thought we could get up to.
We always
Yeah.
make room for you. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll roll out the red carpet anytime.
Yeah.
Thanks much.
See you.
Mark. See ya.
Who's pulling on it? The carpet? Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Larry.
Okay.
Okay, message to you before we can go ahead and do the chamber amounts. And, Jenny had this done, but she had misplaced it, and so, on her desk anyway, so she got it sent. So it's just the request that they normally do for funding. It's, you guys have changed it from the 8,000 to the 10,000 last 2 years for the tourism website to help with the 2,000. So she's requesting the $10,000, which was in the budget. You did budget.
Is this the chamber contribution?
Yes, yeah. So it's just a formality basically on here, but you did approve for it in the budget.
Well, I make a motion to approve $10,000 to the tourism, which goes to the chamber.
To tourism or the chamber?
Didn't you say the tourism you were seeking?
Well, I think it goes just to the chamber.
It goes to the chamber. It's
But
used, they use like 2,000 towards the tourism website on that thing, but
They did though, not us.
exactly, we give it to them and then they distribute it, they need, yeah.
Okay, because I know people that are on the tourism, they're gonna wanting to know what exactly goes to the tourism. So we'll have to make sure they get notified or such like, in that.
Yeah, and we are meeting in December as the board, so I'm gonna clarify all that. The tourism sounds a little like who's actually in control of that.
Okay.
So keeping track of where that tourism is being allotted, that funding, so.
Good.
That'll be one of my objectives, is to get more clear on that and get more specific on what that's actually going to. But yeah, on the website for Mills County Chamber, there's a tourism section right now.
Yeah.
And I want to develop that further, so.
Okay.
There's a couple board members that are really passionate about tourism, so.
Yeah.
That'll be growing.
Okay, good. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the $10,000 to the chamber.
And could you clarify which account we would be getting this from, just so
Yes.
we're all clear?
It's out of, Department 99, but it's a 1,000. Here's the number if you want it, if you want. But anyway, that's the whole, and that's where it's
not lo-
budgeted.
Then it's not local option, it's
No.
coming out of tax dollars.
Well, it's,
That was my
Right,
question, which
yes.
fund are we paying this
yes,
from?
yes, it's out of
I
99.
just want to clarify.
Department
that.
99.
Department
So 99 it is, so that's out of a tax, property tax
I
asking.
believe so, yes.
So I think this is from property tax.
It's the same one that's been coming out.
Sure, yeah, I
Yeah.
just want to
Yeah,
get it
no, I
all
know.
clear and make sure it's all
Yep.
on record, so.
It's general
Kizzy,
business.
did you need a copy of
I
this?
think I have.
Okay.
I will second that motion.
Thank you.
Been a motion made and a second to approve payment of $10,000 to Mills County Chamber of Commerce. Contribution. Any more discussion? Questions? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
So that next accounts payable is when this one comes through, so that I believe is the 12th. Because we're, the elections, we don't have anything about it. Okay,
Is Steve been notified?
yes, I messaged him.
Okay.
Give him his coming now.
Steve?
Yeah. I'm gonna need that sticky note back, because I have it on the letter for that, Alyssa to do.
Nice
We'll
to
fund
meet
these little
everybody.
projects, so-
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ginny.
you. We'll see ya.
And then we'll be going into closed session after Steve.
Carol, who's gonna pay me to pave all the roads?
We heard you did.
I did not.
He said it was on the radio.
That's news to
So
me.
Tom DeLashman says, Jack Sayers gonna pave the 500 miles of road in Mills County. And I said, I don't know.
No way,
So, you can,
on the last video interview I
I
did?
don't know, Tom just said he heard it on the radio.
Which Tom?
Tom DeLashman.
Oh.
Oh.
No. There's no way we're gonna be able to pave all the roads.
Well, I was gonna say, well, Jack, you're gonna find yourself find a lot of money.
Yeah, that's not happening. Never said.
Beat him up.
Well, I got all my roads chased down yesterday about 2 o'clock.
You done?
And
We're done. We got done 10 o'clock last night.
tell you what, I'm just glad to be out of the field.
You go through and hit your terraces now with the disc just to,
I got a lot of trees, like little shrubs and stuff I'm gonna shred first, then I'll start my bit tillage problem, but man, it's just unbelievable how dry and hard
it is.
and everything is so dirty. I mean, you generally get dirt from rain splashing up on stuff. But I did one field right across from Big West House. It's a heavily traveled road. Oh my God. The whole field was covered with gravel dust. I'm telling you what, it just, I pulled the air cleaner out of the combine the other day. I couldn't hardly carry it. I bet I took 25, 30 pounds of dirt out of that. Of course, it's huge, but I don't know how these engines are running. I really
And
don't.
then you understand how combines burn up.
Oh, yeah. How they just, it's wonder they don't just blow up.
I haven't heard of any combine fires this year, though. It's been pretty good,
The
hasn't
only
it?
one they've had in Mills County that I know of is, 2 weeks ago, about a week ago, out here at, 250th and, Aston. They,
One more than we can.
Lambert had 3 combines on the field there, and one of these evenings where it was just calm.
I've hit the button and I just.
So I had
If you restart it, it works
read it
great.
over
And then it
to
just,
send to make
if you
sure.
let it
Okay,
sit,
so.
Yeah.
it goes to sleep and then it just, I've hit the button back.
Kyle's got a quote ready, so it'll probably be on the agenda next week.
Good. Good. It's just frustrating when they come in and then you're all ready to go.
Yeah.
And then I go to look at something and it's just frozen
This is just clarification on the insurance claim
again.
for the, well, yeah.
This is just gonna make it clean in the minute.
Right.
As you know, we had an estimate for 20,888. The insurance claim, when it came back, was gonna give us coverage for 18,847.97. So I got back in touch with Jeanette and told her about the claims the estimates that we had, and wondered why we had a discrepancy of 2,000 some odd dollars. So she looked at it, got back, and now they are gonna be giving us a net claim for 20,935.97.
Ooh,
That's the payment we're gonna get from insurance,
Yes,
9.
20,935.97.
That's probably close enough.
Okay, so that will cover the 20,888 on the estimate,
Perfect.
okay?
Wonderful.
So I think the first time we got that, and I came in here,
I thought we were gonna have to come up with a few thousand, but
yeah, but now we don't have to.
Good deal.
We got it covered.
I like that.
That's it.
Great job, Steve.
All right, got this duly noted in the
Yes,
minutes.
yeah, I
Do we
do.
need to act on anything?
We gotta make a motion.
I don't know if you already approved it, but if you want to
Remember,
reapprove,
we really
Yeah.
need the corrected amount in the minutes.
yeah, that's what we're doing.
$20,935.97.
I make a motion.
935.97.
935.97.
Yeah.
97 or 37?
97.
I got it right.
I make a motion to approve that.
Good, I'll second.
Can we get started?
And a motion made, seconded
We're on the
to have the insurance coverage of the amount of $20,935.97. Cover damages to the ceiling.
So we're gonna be $7 in the black. Good dish. Better be in the red.
Okay.
Yay!
All
And it
all
shows,
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
and as soon as we're on the calendar, we're not on the schedule. So,
they're waiting for an opportunity to come down here and start this thing. So whenever that happens, it should be about 2.5 weeks. They figured to do it. So we're just in a waiting mode for their scheduling to free up, so they can put us in.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, Steve.
Yep.
Okay,
Your closed session's at 10 o'clock.
all right.
That's all we have left, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
I am so pleased of how they're using that East Mill School
Yeah.
into our switch
Great
program.
idea.
That is just gonna be amazing. So fantastic.
It's been a lot of work, but it'll be good when it's finished.
It will be.
So Amy, do you want me to wrap up the recording or? Excuse me? Do you
Yeah,
want me-
because it's closed session, so they can't record that. Yeah.
Okay.
So do we? oh, we
You're
can
not
make a
adjourned
motion,
yet, you're just, yeah, so that's fine.